Welcome back to Carneades.org. Today we're going to be continuing with our series, Dumbfounding Definitions, Dizzying Distinctions, and Diabolical Doctrines, series sorting through some of the jargon of philosophy. In this video we're going to be looking at what is illocution. This is the second video in our mini-series on speech acts. If you haven't checked out our first video in this series on locution, check that out now. Now, in the last video in this mini-series, we looked at the speech act of locution. In other words, the literal meanings of the words that you say. However, philosophers have argued that utterances often have more meanings than what is said literally. They have subtext as well. When I say, that tree is about to fall on your head, I mean something beyond the simple fact that the tree is going to fall on you. I also implicitly am telling you to move out of the way. This deeper meaning is sometimes referred to as the illocutionary force, or the illocution of a statement. Now, quick note on terminology before we dig too far in. In modern parlance, illocution is often used to refer to all speech acts. In this video, however, we're going to use it as J.L. Austin, one of the first to rigorously study speech acts, originally intended, to refer to the illocutionary force intended by the speaker. These days, you may hear what we're going to be calling illocution, referred to solely as the illocutionary force of an utterance or statement. Just flagging that out there. So, the illocution of an utterance is sometimes described as the force that is attached to the illocutionary act. What are you trying to convey by making that utterance? Well, the locution is simply dependent on the meanings of the individual words that are uttered. The illocution is dependent on the context that the speaker is in. The statement, "It's getting hot in here," may be a true statement in terms of its locutionary meaning, that the temperature is rising, but it may also have an additional illocutionary force. It could be a request to go somewhere cooler. It's getting hot in here. It could be a warning that a child should take off an extra sweatshirt before they get heat stroke. It's getting hot in here. Could be an entreaty for peace between two friends whose argument has become too heated. Hey, it's getting hot in here. And it could be an acceptance of romantic advances, indicating a heightened level of emotional desire, and perhaps serving as a pretext to reciprocate those advances by removing an outer layer of clothing. Whew, it's getting hot in here. Now, simply, an illocutionary act is the force of the utterance, what you as the speaker want that utterance to do. This might be to simply state a fact. I could simply mean that the temperature of the room is rising. However, there are many other purposes that an utterance may serve. Utterances that lack a truth value may also have illocutions. When I say, "I'm sorry for eating your lunch," I may be trying to express contrition, persuade you to be my friend again, or mock you for being concerned about something as mundane as having your lunch stolen. I guess I'm sorry for eating your lunch. Here's some more examples. Someone stating, "These peas are cold," might be conveying the illocution of a request to, "These peas are cold, warm them up in the microwave." Expressing appreciation that a pack of peas being used to cool a sprain is nice and cold. Whew, these peas are cold. Or reprimanding a chef for insufficiently cooking the peas. Ugh, these peas are cold. Someone that says, "Did you clean up in here?" might be conveying the illocution of appreciation for someone cleaning up when they didn't need to. "Wow, did you clean up in here?" Reminding someone to clean up, something that they were supposed to do but did not. Or accusing one person of making a mess after someone else cleaned up. The illocution is what you are trying to do with the statement, not what it necessarily literally means. So, some might be concerned that the illocution of an act is in some way beyond the specific speech and more about actions. I can do things such as making gestures that convey illocutionary meaning. Much of the illocutionary force of an utterance comes from one's tone, body language, gestures, etc. We might ask if the study of illocution really belongs to the philosophy of language, or if it's more in the philosophy of action, particularly as we get onto Perlocution, which is about the actions of the listeners. Though all of this seems like it fits into the vein of communication, it doesn't seem to mesh with a lot of the other things that fall into a traditional understanding of language. So there's a question here of, does illocution really fit here? Do all these speech act terms really fit here in philosophy of language where they've traditionally been studied? Or would they be a better fit in philosophy of action? What do you think? Is illocution really about language, or is it about actions? What are some good examples of statements that have a single locution, but a range of illocutionary meanings? Stay tuned for our next video on Perlocution, where we will talk about the next step in this process. Watch this video and more here at Carneades.org, and stay skeptical, everybody.